This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
A wide throw hinge, and as far as I can measure from the center of that pivot, it's 4 by 4.5.
4 by 4.5.
Yeah.
So hinges, butt hinges are defined as the height and then the width when the hinge is laid open in front of you. So how tall is the hinge?
So the hinge is 4.5 inches tall.
Yeah.
And full length end to end. Is that what you need?
The entire width.
Okay. The entire width of the hinge is 8 inches when it's completely open.
Could be.
Is that what you're asking? If that's what you're asking, it's 8 inches completely open, unfolded.
I didn't ask, but hinges are measured when the hinge is laid open in front of you. You measure the height first and then the width, the overall dimensions. Is what you have 4 tall and 8 wide?
Yep, it is.
Okay, that's a pretty big hinge.
Yeah, I got to get the doors open to an auditorium, so I got to get them as wide open as possible. But what I'm experiencing with these hinges, and the doors get used a lot because they're wood doors, I'm constantly having to drill out the screw holes on the wood door and refill them with wood. I've got dowels in some of them, but they just pull on that. So what I want to be able to do is get the doors completely open to where people don't mess with them. And I think I'm going to have to replace the door closers as well. But I also need at the same time a good quality hinge, because right now these hinges that I have on here, I've probably got 1/8 of an inch of play just because of wear and tear on that hinge.
Yeah, wide throw hinges. Yeah. So how thick are the doors?
My doors are 1 5/8 inches.
Okay. So I would, because of the wear and tear, I would certainly recommend remortising everything to 4.5 or 5 inch tall. That'll be a substantially more robust hinge in terms of the height, especially the 5 inch. You can do 8 inch wide. That's no big deal. You could even consider a thicker leaf to go with a heavyweight hinge rather than the standard weight that you have now. So all that would be, that's all fun.
It is. You're right.
Yeah. And I would probably consider those as options that might just solve the problem for you moving forward.
Okay.
So how many hinges do you need?
Well, if I get them, I would need just 6 to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are we talking $100 a hinge?
Well, for 5x8s and a ball bearing, you're about $159 a hinge.
Okay. So I got to find a way. Well, I got to find a way to fill my steel frame and then re-drill it.
It's no good.
Yeah, my steel frame, on the frame, I've got that 4.5 inches.
Is it 4.5 or is it 4?
It's 4.5.
Okay, so I understood that the height of the hinge was 4 inch, so it's 4.5.
Yeah, the height of the hinge is 4.5.
Okay. Well, you could certainly do 4.5 by 8s. I would absolutely not encourage you to try to alter that steel frame. That would be quite an endeavor to do that.
It would. What I've done before on some of the other doors in the church is I've put continuous hinges on and just mounted them and cut the door down. So I surface mount the continuous hinge and then cut the door down and mount the door that way is what I've done in some of the other doorways. And I love that continuous hinge.
Problem is you're not going to get an 8-inch width out of wide throw continuous hinges.
Yeah. So the best way to solve my problem would be to find a way to get a wider, instead of 4.5, go with that wider hinge.
Wider or taller?
Taller.
Taller. Okay. Well, did you mention that these are fire rated?
No, these doors are not fire rated, but they are the solid core.
Yeah, so
they're solid core doors.
If you have a way to modify that frame that you're comfortable with, turning it into a 5-inch tall hinge, part of the collateral damage of going to 5 inches, the leaf does get thicker as well. Not appreciably, but if you put a caliper on it, it's thicker than a 4.5, very slightly.
Well, I think I have 2 inches on the hinge side. I got to get up above and look at my door, and I'll tell you how much real wood I have in this door. I have 1.5 inches of real wood, and then it gets into the particle wood.
Well, you wouldn't need to plane the door down. What you could do, if the hinge doesn't sit flush on the jamb, you could mortise the door a little bit deeper to account for it.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a trick we would use to do that.
Okay. Well, I just know I got to do something. I got to get them, and then at the same time, I got to get different closers too that will
allow the swing.
Yeah. So I can get that full swing and get them all the way open.
Well, that's a trick as well. So generally what happens on wide throw hinges when you want to go to 180 degrees or thereabouts, we need to look at a special template for the closer, and sometimes that requires a custom manufactured closer arm when with a wide throw. They make the forearm of the closer much longer. So we'd have to investigate what's required for that. But at the end of the day, it's certainly completely possible. Not we've done it. It's just unusual to do them.
Okay. Well, all my options are open right now because I'm at the point where I'm getting worn out on repairing these doors.
Yeah. Well,
I know I'm going to have to fix them eventually, but I'd like them to last longer than a season or two.
Yeah, and if you know that you have to have 8-inch wide, even if you were to replace doors, you would still have the hinges. So it's not like they would be discarded because you still have a requirement for a wide throw hinge. And that goes with the closers as well. So it's me personally, I'd have to sit down and be left alone for a little bit to think about how I would modify that steel frame. Now, I know how I would do it, but, how are you going to go about modifying that steel frame?
Well, what I'm going to have to do is they make plates to fill where the hinges set, so I would just get some steel plates and screw them in. What I've done before is I just use that continuous hinge, just surface mounts, and it's easy.
Oh yeah, but that's not the case on this one.
Now, it's either that or I come in here and weld
Right.
some 3/16" steel in the holes, and then surface mount that 8" and then mortise the door so it'll still close.
Yeah, that's an option. Now, what I would do is I would take a disc sander and I would sand that steel frame so as to reveal where the spot welds are on the hinge plate that's welded in that jamb. I would then drill those spot welds out, and I would and that plate would I would make it so the plate couldn't fall in the jamb. I would put a hinge screw in there, and I'd have a string tied to it so it couldn't fall down in my jamb. Then I would drill that out. That plate would get loose. Then I would take a die grinder and I would increase the height of that hinge prep to my 5" or increase it however. Then I would sell you new 5" appropriate hinge plates that you would then plug weld. You'd get it back in place. You would attach a hinge leaf to it. You'd use that as a handle, and then you would plug weld. And then you would grind and sand and repaint.
Okay.
So that's a Herculean effort. And you might say to yourself, well, God, my goodness, I can get the frame pulled off the wall and put in a new hollow metal frame with 5" preps. Because if you're...
Go ahead.
Well, if you're doing that sort of work in the field, you got to be thinking about the grinding, the sound, the inconvenience, the lack of security, and the heat that you're tossing into that when you're welding in the field.
Yeah. Well, these hinges are, you know how the steel hinges are set. I mean, they're on a CMU wall.
Yeah, so peeling that off is not going to be pretty.
No. So I like the idea of die grinding and drilling out. That's actually, I have a little bit of wallpaper in the way, but I can get around that. And then it's pretty thin gauge metal. So
16, yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I think that. And plus, I just needed to go Sunday to Sunday, so I'd have a week.
Yeah. When you said it was a school, you said it was a church, but my mind went to school, and I thought, well, you'll have probably 6 weeks in the summer. You make all the noise you want.
Yeah. Well, I can make all the noise I want. I have some fire doors. I have a double entry into the auditorium, so I can close fire doors and then work on the interior doors. My fire doors are awesome. Man, they have 8" high hinges on those.
Wow, those are unusual.
8. No, let me go measure them. They're 6.5.
Yeah, 6 is a good size. 8's a good size. 4, 4.5, 5, 6, 8 are all good heights for hinges. And you get into those 8" hinges, and boy, oh boy, they're not insignificant.
No, these are 6" that holds my fire doors.
Yeah, those are, and those must be heavy doors because someone chose a 6" hinge, which is very atypical. And every 1/2 inch you increase in that door, in that hinge height, really does a lot to just do the job of keeping that thing where it needs to be.
Well, my fire doors are 47.5.
Yeah. That's the width. That makes perfect sense. When you get wider than 3 foot, you got to be thinking about taller hinges. That's proof in the pudding right there.
Yeah. So those are 6, and so 5 would work on these.
Well, I believe that they would. By the same token, the taller the hinge, the more reasonable it's going to be. Can we special order 6x8s? We can.
Yeah.
But at that point, you would go with, yeah.
Yeah, I think 5x8 will get it. I think it would handle the wear and tear on them better than these 4.5x8s.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at all of them, and they're all sagging.
Yeah, and plus these hinges would be ball bearings, so it would take, it wouldn't sag. At least it ought to not sag for more years than, because those knuckles just grind on each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just interested in getting it further down the road so that I'm not
on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not a hamster in a cage on this. So, okay. Well, if I get the hinges, that would be part A. And then I would have to get the, what did you call the part that goes on the jamb?
Oh, the hinge plates.
Insert? Okay.
Yeah, the hinge reinforcement plates, yeah.
Okay, so I would be in it for the hinges, the hinge reinforcement plates. And so am I looking at $200 a hinge? With everything?
No, the hinge plates are probably $10 each.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, I mean, painting with a broad brush, the answer is yes, but it'd be a little bit less than that.
Okay. Well, I got to turn that in. Baptist churches work on committees, so I've got to get a ballpark before I can pull the trigger. But I can make it, based on what I'm working on and what I've been doing, I can make a pretty good argument as to why we need to go bigger. And then it will actually, and I didn't know that I could cut my hinges bigger and put a hinge insert in there. I didn't know that, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. You just one step at a time, and it takes a lot of time to do it. But when you're done, it's done. It's done. And if you can weld, which is one of the greatest skills a man can have, it's pretty liberating. Yeah, I mean, when I was 21, I realized we had a bottleneck at the shop, and I realized I couldn't get my dad to hire a second welder, so I went.
Yeah.
I re-enrolled back in community college and took that class, and problem was solved. Solved. Yeah.
Well, I taught my boys how to weld.
Oh yeah.
So
you did them a service.
Yeah, I taught them to weld when they were 12. So, yes, I'm blue collar. I do have a degree from a university, but my blue collar comes in way more handy than my paper does.
I just got sick and tired of paying the electrician to come pull a circuit, and when you pull a fuse panel off, and if it's just single phase, typical line voltage, if you hire an electrician, the joke's on you. Knowing code is crucial, super important, but make no deviations. If your eyes can tell you what you're looking at, then there's no reason to hire someone for that, in my opinion, because I'm done with hiring for that.
Well, here in Lubbock, Texas, an electrician, as soon as they pull up to your house, the bill starts at $185. Oh yeah.
I didn't.
So, yep. And I don't know about other parts of the country, but yeah, you're out $185 no matter what.
Yep. And then you say to yourself, what in the gospel takes so long? Why does it take them so long to do it? And I've learned, because I just finished like a week of pulling circuits. Oh yeah, no, it does take time. It actually does. And so I've got a better appreciation of what those guys do for time. But, you know, the green bus, the white bus, and then the hot, okay, I can copy that. So tell me your email, and I'll send you a link to these two items that we've discussed on the hinges.
Oh, that'll be awesome. My email is J as in jump, K as in kind, J as in jump, O as in open, S as in Sam, and A as in apple. At Bacon Heights, bacon is in the bacon you eat, baconheights.com.
Okay. All right. So give me a couple of moments, and I'll send this to you, and at least you'll have something that you can look at there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. I love solving problems.
Yeah. I agree. It gets awfully boring sitting behind a desk just selling a hinge all day long when it's just garden variety baloney. So it's nice to have something that takes a little more critical thinking.
Yes. I deal with that a lot in this building. Yeah. More so than I want to. Okay. Do you guys also do closers, or would I need to go somewhere else for that?
No, we could certainly help you with closers for this wide throw application. What I'd like to do is to have you reply with photographs of the opening so I can kind of take a look and see what everything looks like. And then I will contact the manufacturer and ask them about a special template. And that's just code for, hey, do I need a longer arm than usual because we got an 8-inch wide throw? And then determine if a standard arm or a custom arm is required. Then we go from there.
Okay. Just to give you an idea, if you're a mental guy like I am, my door's open on a flat wall, and then it goes into a 22-degree turn away from the doors.
Yeah, I know. I'm dealing with that right now, and I've got a guy. That's funny. He's in San Antonio, actually. He's got the same requirement of wide throw, but his problem is that it's an arch top. Very deeply inset with that splayed out masonry opening, probably about 22 degree, with an arch top. So his problem is if he hangs it on a standard width hinge, his door only gets to about 65 degree open because it hits up at the top. That's one. Two, because it's arch top, his first hinge is like 30-inch off the top of the door. So his doors sag way into the center, so it's truly awful. So what we did for this gentleman is we literally ordered wide throw, 6x8 heavyweight, and just the audacious thickness of the leaf of the hinge will keep these doors proud. We'll keep them straight. And that 8-inch will allow him to get that door open to about 95 degree. So yeah, it's there's always something. It's not like these guys who make pre-hung doors and frames at the mill and send it out to the new apartment building being built. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I almost have 180 degrees on one side, and I've got about 100 and I don't know, maybe 120 on the other is all I get, just because. And I'd love them to both get to that 180 degrees. If I could get further than 180 degrees, that would be great.
Well, the hinge will do it. The hinge will get you more than 180, that's for sure. I don't think a door closer arm will.
That would be the joy if I could get it past 180, because then I could get them all the way open to the doors and, get the doors to almost lay flat against the wall.
Right.
When they're completely open. That would be the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take pictures and I'll get them in the email and get those sent to you so that you can see what I'm looking at. And I don't know how to photograph this angle properly so that you can see it, but I'll try to figure that out too so you can get a better picture of what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will I'll figure out camera angles and try to note and everything. Because 2 heads are better than 1.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, cool. If you'll send that stuff to me, I'll get that, and then I'll start working on some photographs, and then I can email those back to you. And
awesome.
An idea of photographs, you want both inside and out? You want doors open and closed? I mean, how many different views, or what can I do to help you in taking pictures?
Oh, just probably take 4, and really seeing the on the push side what the condition looks like on the door and at the header, and then the same on the pull side. Obviously, I'd like to see the wall, and if you could just quickly hand sketch what a cross section would look like, or I should say, a plan view of what that opening looks like. And that would draw the wall in, draw the frame in, put the door there, and then a couple of basic dimensions.
Okay, I can do that.
Yep.
I can do that. Okay, well, I will get all that information to you then.
Awesome, sir. Thank you very much. I'll wait for the email, and I've already sent you the one with the hinge and the plate.
Okay, remind me your name one more time.
Yes, sir. My name is Richard.
Richard, thank you very much. You have been supremely helpful. So,
thank you. Thank you, sir. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.